correspond stitch nook and my desk where the creativity happens. This will be the tutorial for the Cottage Rose little sachet bag. So it's like so. I think it's really cute and a little tiny sort of thing. Nice for like a wedding events or when you just need to keep a few little items on you. It works very well for that, but let's not dilly-dally. We're going to start with our ivory yarn and a 2.75 millimeter hook. All right, you are going to want to chain 2. If you like to use the magic circle, magic ring, whatever it's called, method, you can do that with the extra chain 1. But I don't use that, so this is how I have it instructed. So after you chain 2 into that first chain or your magic ring or magic loop, you're going to half double crochet 10. So just go ahead and half double crochet 10 into that center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And then you're going to slip stitch into your first stitch, completing your circle base. Now we're just going to work on making the circle bigger for now. So you're going to chain 1, and then in each stitch, you're going to half double crochet twice, half double crochet 2 into the same stitch like so, and do that into each of the stitches. Come across stitch, 1, 2 half double crochets like so. All right, I've done my last 2 half double crochets into a stitch, and I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch in the round. And then similarly, we're going to chain 1, half double crochet into the first stitch, and then half double crochet twice into the next stitch. So we're increasing every other stitch. Half double crochet once, and then half double crochet twice. And then just continue that all the way around. All right, you've done your last 2 to half double crochets into the stitch. You're going to slip stitch into your first stitch. Now this one is more or less going to be similar, but with a little tweak at the end. But to start the repeat, you're going to half double crochet 1, 2, and then half double crochet twice into the third stitch. And that'll be your repeat until you have 3 stitches remaining. So just remember that. So you do 1, 2, and then 2 half double crochets into your third. So just keep doing that until you have 3 stitches left. All right, you see I have 3 stitches left after I've done my 2 half double crochets and then 2 in the same stitch. And into the following 3 stitches, they're all going to get 2 half double crochets. So you're making a lot of increases here. In some things, I would space them out more around the center, but it really doesn't matter in this case. So I don't bother with that, and it makes the instructions simpler, I think, instead of needing to paste them out. But if you want to, you can of course add 2 extra increases wherever you like around. I just do them at the end here. And so this is the solid base. Now you're going to chain 1, single crochet 1. You're going to chain 1 again, skip 1, and single crochet into the next one. Chain 1, and then single crochet into the following one, no skipping. So that way you're going across here and then you increase here because there are 2 single crochets together and a chain 1 in between. Now to repeat again, we're going to chain 1, skip 1, and then single crochet 1. chain 1, single crochet into the next one, no skipping. I'll show one more time. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the next one. Single crochet a little better than that. Chain 1, and then single crochet into the next one, no skipping. So it'll look more or less similar. You won't see too much difference unless you make your loops looser than mine, which you can, of course. But just repeat that all the way around. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet 1, chain 1, single crochet 1. Alright, I've come around. I've done my last single crochet and chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch into our first stitch. So there we have it. Now we're going to slip stitch into the first chain space we have here. So go ahead and slip stitch into there. We're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do, and this is an important part that I think a lot of people get confused, is a double crochet 2 together. And the way we do this in here is we're going to start a double crochet into the same chain space, the first one here. And once we have 2 loops left on our hook, we're going to yarn over, skip a chain, and go into the next chain. Start that double crochet and then pull them together like so. Then you're going to double crochet into that chain space we just worked into, like so, like that. Chain 2, and we're going to double crochet 2 together, starting in the current chain space, and then skip a chain space and working to the next chain space, like so. Good. Double crochet into the same chain space and chain 2. I'll show that one more time. Double crochet 2 together, starting in the same chain space we're in. Skip a chain space, working to the next chain space. Double crochet into that same chain space and chain 2. And just continue that all the way around. Alright, I've just done my last double crochet into the same space and chain 2. And then this is how we're going to join. You're going to double crochet 2 together, starting in the one you're already in. We're skipping the last chain space and working into the first chain space where we have the chains coming out of. So you finish that double crochet 2 together, and then slip stitch into that first chain 5 we did, which represents a double crochet chain 2. And there you have that. Now, next row, we're going to chain 1, single crochet 3 into the chain space, like so, and then 2 single crochets into 2 stitches. Single crochet 3 into the chain space, single crochet 2 into the 2 stitches. So 1, 2, and just continue that all the way around. I've done my last single crochet. I'm going to slip stitch into our first stitch, chain 1, and start the next row. Next row will be single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, and not skip 1, but single crochet into the next one. So opposed to before, we're going to have 2 skips before we do our increase. So we're pacing out where we do an increase. So one more time, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet into the next one, no skip. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, don't skip, and single crochet into the next one. And continue that pattern all the way around. Okay, we've done our last single crochet into the last stitch. This can be a hard one and to lose your place, so make sure you do check that you've done the pattern correctly. So you should end up in the last stitch, chain 1, slip stitch into the first single crochet, slip stitch into the first chain space, and then we're going to repeat the row from before. Chain 5. I think it's, what row is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Row 6. Double crochet 2 together, starting in the current chain space, skipping a chain space, and into the next chain space. Then you double crochet into that same chain space, chain 2. Double crochet 2 together in current chain space, skipping a chain space, and working into third chain space, the next chain space. Double crochet into that same chain space, and chain 2, and just repeat that. Alright, we're at our last joining point. So we've done our double crochet, chain 2. We're going to do our chain 2 together like we did before, like so, and then slip stitch into the first stitch, chain 1. Now we're going to half double crochet twice into the chain space. Then we're going to half double crochet into each of the 2 stitches, and then repeat that. Half double crochet 2 into the chain space, and then half double crochet into the 2 stitches. So it'll just be 2, 2, 2, and repeat that all the way around. Alright, now I'm going to be starting my last stitch, but since we're going to do a color change for the next row, I like to start it in the row before. So once I have the 3 loops on my hook, I wrap the yarn and push it back. And I'm going to pick up my choice of like trim color, which is going to be green. You can also use the pink or the red, whatever you like, and finish that half double crochet and then slip stitch with that color into the first stitch, like so. And working over the ends here, going chain 1 and just single crochet into each of the stitches. So nice and simple, just work your way around your circle with single crochets. And you can snip off this end whenever you like. Just work them over so you don't have to work over them so you don't have to weave in any ends. Alright, I'm going to do another color change. So the last single crochet, I wrap my yarn, don't finish it, push it to the back, and I should have left this still just dangling off here so I could pick it up, but I forgot. So I'm going to add in my ivory white again, finish that single crochet, and then slip stitch. Chain 1, and then I'm just going to half double crochet all the way around. So nice and simple. And again, I'm going to work over my ends just to save myself the hassle of weaving them in. Alright, going to do another color change. So as we do our last half double crochet, I'm going to not finish it, grab my yarn, push it to the back, and pick up the green again. I'm realizing once again I could have left it in the back to pick up, but I'm not thinking straight, it seems. So I'm joining it, finishing that half double crochet, and then chaining into the first stitch. We're going to chain 4, and then double crochet into the same space. So we're doing a V-stitch, like so. Then we're going to skip 2 and do a V-stitch into the next stitch. That means a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same stitch. Skip 2, V-stitch into the next one. Like so. Skip 2, V-stitch into the next one. Skip 2, V-stitch into the next one. Alright, we've done our last V-stitch. We're going to slip stitch into our first V-stitch. And then from here, you're going to pick up your choice of rose color, and I'm going to show the alternating version. You can also just do it as a solid or one color version. So centering into the double crochet, I'm going to yarn over and pull through as a slip stitch into the where I already have the green. Oops, oops, oops. Like so. I'm going to give myself a longer tail. Then chain one loosely. Now we're going to do a puff stitch or a rosebud stitch. We're going to yarn over, insert into the V stitch chain, yarn over, pull through. And so that gives you 3, and you're going to do that 3 more times for a total of 4 times. Like so. So you should have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 loops on your hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 8 of them. So you leave 2 loops on your hook. And then here I'm going to wrap my yarn and push it back and pick up my other rose color. And here you're going to join it by yarning over and pulling through those last 2 loops. Then you're going to chain 1, and you're going to chain 2 while pushing the first rose color in between, so it helps carry it over. And then you can push it to the back. Now we're going to do a puff stitch into the next chain space in the V-stitch. So yarn over, insert into the chain space, yarn over, pull through, and do that 4 times. Like so. Yarn over, pull through 8 loops, so you have 2 loops on your hook left. I'm going to yarn, wrap the yarn over and push it back, and then pick up the pink from the back. I'm going to yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops. Chain 1, and then chain 2, carrying the red over. I'm going to do another puff stitch, like so. Yarn over, pull through 8 loops. I'm going to wrap the yarn forward and back, pick up your red, yarn over, and pull through the last 2 loops. Chain 1, chain 2, carrying your other rose color. And then again, a puff stitch, yarn over, pull through 8, wrap your yarn, push it back, pick up your other yarn color, yarn over, and pull through 2. So there you see it's developing the rosebud stitch, and you'll just continue that all the way around. Alright, I've done my last rosebud puff stitch, and I did color change just because you don't need to at the end, and chain 2, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of our first puff stitch. And so just kind of bring these yarns over. I'm going to cut them, give them a bit of a tail so we can kind of work over that. Oh, actually, I think I'd prefer to color change already. So for the slip stitch, I'm going to do the color change. So we're going to switch to, hold on. To our white ivory. So as I slip stitch into here, pull the ivory in, like so. Just kind of personal preference. I like to make my color changes as clean as possible. Then chain 1. Now I'm going to push the green away because that's too far down, but I am going to work over these tails. Alright, and then you're going to essentially do 3 half double crochets into each chain space, but with the caveat that I'm going to give you a tip. You can simply do that, half double crochets into each chain space, but I find in order to hide the color changes better, it helps to do a sort of half double crochet together in between them. So I'm going to start by going back into the behind us into that chain space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, insert into the chain space in front of us, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over and pull through all of them. So that's kind of like a half double crochet joined together, and you don't see color changes. You'll see a little better as we go along. Then I'm going to half double crochet, 1, 2, and then as I start the next half double crochet into the next chain, I'm going to start still in this chain space, yarn over, insert into the next chain space. I have 5 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through all 5, like so. Then half double crochet 2, because that's considered 1. We do 2 more, and now we'll do the half double crochet together in the 2 loops. It's getting a little messy with these tails. I'll probably trim them up a little later, like so. Half double crochet 2, half double crochet in between, like so, and keep going. Okay, I'm doing my last half double crochet, and I'm going to do a color change. So I'm going to wrap my yarn without finishing, push it to the back, and bring in my green color and finish that stitch. There we go. I'm going to slip stitch into that first stitch, chain 1, and then just single crochet all the way around. I will remember to leave this in the back and just work over my green tail this time. So I'm just going to single crochet all the way around. Okay, doing the last stitch, I'm going to do a color change. So I'm going to not finish that stitch. I'm going to pick up my yarn that I remembered not to cut, finish that stitch, and then slip stitch into the first stitch. I'm going to chain 1, working over the green. I'm going to single crochet all the way around. Whoops. Yeah, and just repeat that, single crochet all the way around. Alright, after you finish your last single crochet, slip stitch into the first chain space. You're going to chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, and so on. I'm not doing any decreases, so there's less to keep track of. Just skip 1 between every single crochet and chain 1 between each single crochet. And just do that all the way around. After I've done my last single crochet, there's 1 stitch left, but we're skipping that one. We've chained 1. We're going to slip stitch into the first stitch. Then we're going to slip stitch into the first chain space, and we're going to do our row 6 repeat. So we're going to chain 5 for our starting, double crochet 2 together, starting in the one we're already in, chain space, skip a chain space, and work into the next one. I'm going to do a double crochet into the same chain space, chain 2, and just do the repeat as we've done before. This is all the same. I'm at my last chain 2. I'm going to do a double crochet 2 together into the first chain we worked in, slip stitch to join, chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet 2 into the chain space, and then 2 over the stitches, and then just repeat that 2 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and just keep going. After the last single crochet, we're going to slip stitch into the first chain, going to chain 1, and then simply half double crochet our way around. So nice and simple, just do your half double crochets all the way around. All right, you've done your last half double crochet. You're going to slip stitch into the first stitch, and then now we're going to make the little gaps for our cord. So whoops, you're going to chain one, half double crochet in the next two stitches. You're going to chain two, skip two stitches, then half double crochet into the next two stitches, and then repeat that. Chain two, skip two, half double crochet two, and just do that all the way around. All right, I'm at my last chain two. I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch. I'm going to, let's see, chain one. I'm going to make it a looser chain than that. And then I'm going to work two chains like in between the stitches. You can either do in each individual stitch. I just opt to go in between. And then in the chain space, you're going to half double crochet, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then half double crochet either into the two stitches or in between the two stitches. You want two stitches there, and then 4 in the chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half double crochet 2 into the stitches, or in between the stitches here, and then just repeat that around. A note I meant to add as we're coming to the end of the row, I'm doing my 2 crochet into the stitches here, and on the last one we're going to do 3 and not 4. So 1, 2, 3. There we go. Then you're going to slip stitch into the first one, chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and so on. So we'll just continue to do that for the entire round. All right, I'm at my last single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and I'm going to slip stitch into the first one. Then we're going to slip stitch into the first chain space, and then we're going to do our row 6 again. So we're chaining 5, same old, double crochet 2 together by skipping one of the chains, double crochet into the same chain, and then chain 2. Once again, double crochet 2 together by skipping a chain, double crochet into that same chain space, chain 2, and continue. All right, we're going to do our last double crochet 2 together, going into the first chain space, slip stitching. Oh wait, and when we slip stitch, we're going to join in our trim color. In this case, I'm using green. So I'm going to do slip stitch like so. We're going to chain 1, single crochet. We're going to chain 3. We're going to single crochet into the same chain space, chain 3. We're going to skip over the 2 stitches and go into the next chain space and single crochet into that, like so. Chain 3, single crochet into that same chain space. So you see we're kind of making this little bump or picot almost. Chain 3, skipping the 2 stitches and going into the next chain space. We're going to single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet into the same chain space. Chain 3, and then skip over to the other chain space. So you see it's going to look a little like this. So we kind of have a little bump, carry over, a bump, carry over, bump, and so forth. And just do that all the way around for your sword trim. Alright, I did a very poor job of explaining the I-cord when I was recording that, and it was also late, the lighting was terrible. So I'm going to show that with another recent sachet I've done, so same thing, similar design, but this is going to be in the Cottage Lavender collection, and I need to add the band, which also happens to be green, so I think it will suffice for this little entry here. So you're going to pull out about 3 times the length you think you want your cord. I tend to just eyeball it and give myself excess than I think I'll use, just to be safer. And then you take whatever size hook you want. In this case, I'm using a 3.5. I think I would have used a 2.75 for the other one, so up to you if you want it a little chunkier, if you want it thinner and dainty, entirely up to you. So I'm going to bring it down a bit. And then what I tend to do is I'm going to wrap my, let's see, I should probably show you how I'm holding the yarn. So you're going to have the yarn that's still from the ball and then the loose yarn here. And so you have, you're working basically between the two. So kind of holding the yarn from the ball up and the loose yarn below, insert your hook underneath and then wrap it around. And then what you're going to do is take the bottom yarn and make a loop over your hook. And I kind of tend to pinch the bottom base of the twist we just made with the hook. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through using the yarn from the ball, like so. Now we're just going to repeat that, whoops, making a loop by going back over the yarn towards the upper yarn, yarning over the ball yarn and pulling through. And you just keep doing that. It is pretty simple and it creates a more polished look than just a chain to me. So I do like it, and I think it gives a little more, it bears better with a little more wear and tear. So go ahead and do that for the length you desire. It can be longer, it can be shorter than how I depict it, so entirely up to you. So go ahead and do that, and then we will thread it through and connect it. Alright, I've done the length I want it to be, so it's gonna more or less be like that. So let's see if I can bring you up a bit. Alright, so we're going to thread it through here, and I'm going to cut a fair bit of tail from both yarns to work with when we need to attach, and I'm just going to leave it as a loop. Fair warning, I do not have a good method for actually attaching this seamlessly. I encourage you to, if you care about that, look it up on YouTube. I had trouble finding it on YouTube personally, but I also didn't take too long to look, so I just kind of try every time. So what we're going to do is thread through the eyelets we made. So the it looks different here now than before, but you're going to have those half double crochets chain two before we kind of do the increased in lace section. And you're just going to be pulling it through, and you want it to come out on the other half more or less. I tend to just eyeball it. You can of course count it out. And what I realized, what I originally had was just working them all out over in, but I found out is better that the area you want to pull should come out of the same hole. So these, if you're doing that, the eyelets might not be paced exactly right. So I'm going to see if that's the case this time again. So let's see. So I worked it through half the eyelets, like so. So half the bag. And now, let's see, we'll take this side. So I'm going to enter it back into the same hole. I would like to have like a bead or one of those, you know, stopper things, because sometimes this pulls back through like so, and then you have to bring it out again. But it's not in the pattern. I don't have those. I haven't tried that yet, but if you are looking to optimize this a little better, that is a cool option. And then just thread back towards this end, and so you can tighten, scrunch it up if you need to make that happen. And so yeah, so on this side it would come out that these each come out like so. So what I'll do is go back a bit. I'm going to pull it through the half double crochet here, and it's kind of just depends how you want to have yours cinched, but I kind of rediscovered that this is probably the better way, and it's not my preferred way. So that's just a little hack I found, and it doesn't, you know, disrupt the look of it or anything. So let's see, I'm going to pull some more onto this side. And so you can see it's like that, and then, you know, when you cinch it, it'll look something like so, with little items and trinkets and things in it. So let's attempt to, I'm going to get a smaller hook. I'm gonna have this random regular one here. So I've inserted a smaller hook back into the loop, tightened the loop up, and I'm going to pick up the other end. And again, I usually just try to figure out what looks good and then weave the ends into the I-cord. So I'm going to slip into the closed end and slip stitch both the yarns like so, and then pull through. So it's going to look like that. And then I want to bring them over to the other side. So I'm going to slip and pull them over here. And then back towards the active when we were just in, like so. So you can see it's not the best. It's just kind of what I do. And then I start working it into the I-cord. I'll pick usually one end to go one way, and then the other end I'll kind of work in the other way. So using a smaller hook helps to do that. So kind of like so, and just keep working it in. And then I would kind of, again, for optimization purposes, I tend to be lazy. You can use like a bit of glue or what's it called? Like a bit of, I'm thinking flame, but like what are they called? A lighter or something to really close off the frayed ends and then tuck that in a little better. I think that might be a little more professional way to do it. But I'm not going to show that here. I haven't actually tried either of those methods yet, but I keep thinking about it. So just throwing that out there. But yeah, this is just getting weird. And so, sorry, my foot's touching something that's making noises. So also to hide this, I guess I'll show that. All right, I finished tidying up the ends. So let's see, where is it? Oh, is it this side? Yeah. So actually it's not too bad, like from afar. But to hide it extra good, I'm going to, let's see, which side is it? This side? No? This side. I'm going to make sure it is kind of the part not sticking out, but within the bag. So you really don't have to worry about it much. And then, yeah, that's that. And then I should show you the actual bag we made. So I already added in, so I got little items in here. I was doing the photo shoot. And so that's what it'll look like when it's all attached. Oh, you can see it's peeking out a little bit. It's loose ends there already. So that should be hidden a little better. There we go. So yeah, and then you'll attach it, carry it around. It is darling. I think it's just beautiful for keeping a few little items. It won't really hold a phone unless you use a bigger hook. Like this one could conceivably hold a small phone, and this was done with a 3.5, like I mentioned before, the whole bag was. And you could size it even bigger if you wanted it to be a little bigger, to have kind of a pouch-like and still look dainty, but hold actual, useful stuff. This one will probably hold a wallet and, chapstick and a few things like that. So that's kind of what I have in here, a little body spray, candy. I think it's also darling for little girls to use for like little trinkets, little treasures. And again, weddings or things of that sort. So yeah, so that's what we have. Hope that was helpful. And I'm sorry, these get less and less professional the longer it goes on. Partly because I'm getting tired, partly because I find like the finishing of things can be just messy in general. You have to weave in ends. I'm seeing issues already here. And stuff like that. And so it's just a bit of more of a messy process, and something that also differs from person to person at times, like just how you want to rigmarole it. So I do apologize for that. If any of it was unclear, do let me know and I can go over it again. The pay pattern is written. It is pretty clear and straightforward in that case. I think the main thing, again, though, might be the I-cord. But again, that's semi-self-explanatory, at least. Like, if you just want to do a simple chain, that will also do. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'm tired. Time to close this. Thank you for watching. If you've made this item, if you're following any of the the Cottage Rose collection, I would love for you to tag me on Instagram at Once Upon a Stitch Nook, and you will get a coupon for doing so. So do that, and I will shout you out in my stories. Thank you again.